Hey everybody, remember when I did vlogs? Yeah, me either, but times are changing, things are weird, and I'm in a new house. So currently I'm sitting in, or standing in actually, the room that I've deemed to be my office, so I suppose we'll start here. But a little bit of a background, if you don't know. I lived in Florida from the age of 5 until now, so from 5 to 33, so you do the math, it was a long time. But for the last 2 years or so, I have been on the hunt for a new place to live. Because 2 years ago, actually approaching 3 years ago now, I believe, I made the decision to start doing content full-time. I'm certainly not like a full-time YouTuber or anything like that, but the various styles of content that I do is what I do on a full-time basis. And at that time, a friend of mine actually took me in and gave me a place to be for as long as it took until I basically got on my feet enough to be able to get out on my own. And really, all along, I figured I would just be, finding a place somewhere in Florida, somewhere down there where I had grown up. But the price of homes in the area that I grew up went so crazy high that it started to become a reality to me that just wasn't going to be something that was feasible, and I would have to significantly degrade my quality of life in order to maintain living there. And if you've been a watcher of the old Cone on the Road series, then you know a lot of the things I'm talking about. So that was the reason for the decision to move, and how I ended up here in southern North Carolina, kind of like an hour outside of Charlotte, is just by necessity, basically. It had to have internet, needed to be remote, needed to have a garage, and it needed to be cheap. And this fit all of those things, and thanks to some help from my brother, I have managed to move in here. If it looks like I just stole this house from your grandparents, you're probably right. This place has been owned by the same people for over 30 years. It was built, came with a cat. It was built in the 60s and has not been significantly updated in many, many decades. Let's look at the only room that I actually have anything done to, and that is the room that I have decided to be my office. This office room is actually an addition onto the house, and there is a step down there. This house is pier construction, so it's not on slab, but for some reason they decided that they would make an addition that is lower than the rest of the house. I don't really know why. But I have, after many years, been able to put out all my stuff. Like, I've had all of this stuff that would be, office trinkets, and have never really put them out because I've never really had a permanent house to put them in. So there you go. There's my little kid aesthetic there. Listen, it's what I like. Leave me alone. And then I have my computer desk set up with some, lighting, the microphone, some basic, sound catchers, echo catchers. Luckily, those aren't super necessary because of the shag. This house has a lot of shag carpet in it. It's staying, at least for now. And, it has wonderful acoustics. It also has Ethernet cables running about because I've not been able to procure the long enough ones just yet, but soon. If you ever wondered what my computer setup was like, this is it. So, super old nasty mouse pad, the tiny keyboard. This is actually the render/streaming PC there, and there is my sound mixer. There's Bingo. There's Discord. And then this is the gaming computer setup here. So I've changed from using keyboard trays for the first time. This is my first desk that doesn't use that, and I like it. It's nice to have that much real estate for the keyboard and the mouse. I just want to get one of those mouse pads that goes all the way under both. That would be cool. I also have in here the spy cam. So this little security camera over there gives a room view during the streams. If you're ever wondering where that is, there it is. So despite the shag, this is probably the most normal room in the house. Also we have the thing that I built basically first, the Xerxes shelf, which he does use. He likes it. He gets a good view of the front yard and the birds and whatnot. So let's go through the rest of the house here. Now we go into the hallway, or up to the hallway, and we have the wallpaper, the green chair rail, the yellow paint, and this corner lamp thing that's like pressure fit into here. A lot of people are fascinated by this lamp for whatever reason. This place has had multiple additions, like I said. I don't know how the camera focusing is going to do in this low light condition here, but so this part of the house is presumably the original part of the house. So these two rooms here, that's just a spare guest room for now. These rooms would in theory be the original two rooms of the house. I'm not 100% sure, because this room that we just looked at and what is effectively the master bedroom also at different levels. Like there's a distinct noticeable difference in the height of the house. I think the biggest way you can tell is look at the height of the ceiling in here. So ceiling really, really far up there in this room, right? If we then go over to the hallway, it's a little bit lower, but still pretty tall. Then we go into this additional hallway, and it's pretty short. And then we go into the master, really, really short. This room makes me feel very tall. I don't know how this house was constructed or in what parts, but it's certainly been like tacked on multiple times. Oh, focus control is not happy with the light in here. All right, so there you go. There's a look of the very Spartan master bedroom. As you can tell, I am currently using an Amazon box as my nightstand. Really, really don't have very much stuff. And then a very small bathroom, the only bathroom in the house. So 3 beds, 1 bath. It was the 60s. That's how they did. Then we can go back into the main hallway. We got a very large laundry room. Probably can't see in there. And then, oh, the cat died. You're ridiculous. This is, quote unquote, the living room. Again, taller ceilings with this weird tile on the roof, which I actually quite like. And, you know, pretty small living room into a very large kitchen. And this, I presume, is all OG house stuff. Like, this is all the original layout here, except for that room at the end. That's another addition. So this room here, I intend to be my kind of like, I don't know, a main living area, sure, but I also have future ambitions for doing some console-based streaming, and I would like to make this room that kind of place. So maybe for the first time in, I don't know, 15, 20 years, I might own a TV. I do own this. This was a housewarming gift from Bonka and ZK. The screwdriver that I infamously broke at my remote Cone on the Road, Cone's Garage extravaganza working on ZK's Corvair. So yeah, we got this little area here, and there's more, oddly. Here's living room number 2. This is seriously the nicest room in this house. It has this really nice wood ceiling. It's like pine plank and has these fake, I believe, beams in the ceiling. Very cool look, though. I like this room a lot. This is also where the fireplace is. There's also nothing in here, as you can hear by the echo. And it's like where the front entryway is, but nobody would ever use this. The side entryway just makes sense. But as of right now, it has some Ethernet cable and a love seat. And a cat? And a cat. I honestly have no idea what my plans are for this room, but I would like to do something like a game room in here, Maybe a pool table would be cool. It's big enough for it. We'll see. I don't know. That's future stuff. Yes? Do you have anything else to say? All right. All right, back into the living room, and then we got our Tetris piece into the kitchen. The kitchen! Another point of, holy cow, they just never updated, did they? Look at that linoleum. And all wood cabinets that have never been refinished. And I don't think they were ever really cleaned either. There's a lot of what I call human schmoo on everything. This is something I've noticed throughout the house. That probably just freaked people out that I touched it, but seriously, I mean, we're all humans. It's just the oils from your skin affect the wood in weird ways. And then, of course, all the wood paneling around as well. You can probably imagine what this house smells like. It's wood. And the paneling stretches all the way through the living room. Well, let's not get into plans. Let's keep the tour going first. So, kitchen, no refrigerator yet. It's on its way. And then a nice little sitting area here and the actual main door and all the trash that I've gathered so far, because I moved to a very small town that doesn't even have trash pickup. So I've got to make a trip to the dump. Both the kitchen and the other living room have these built-in heaters. These are propane heaters with fans built in them, so they're both electric and propane. I don't think I ever planned to use these, but they are plumbed and they are like usable. I'm not a big fan of having like open flame propane heaters going in my house. That doesn't thrill me, and I don't need them. The house is plenty warm. I don't need these extra heaters. Now, the main attractant for me for this house wasn't, believe it or not, the aesthetic. It wasn't the looks. It wasn't Dave. It was out here. Oh, the garage. Lots more to go over with the garage in the future, but I'm going to save that for later, because there is a whole gamut of mysteries to unravel out there. Also got my lovely leather tray from Piece of Craft Leather that was gifted to us for Ranman Park. All right, so how about some plans, huh? I don't plan to keep the house as 60s and 70s inspired as it is now. I do have the ambitions to modernize it as I go. I'm not really obsessed with the idea of making it look like every other modern house, but there's some elements of it I would certainly like to change. Let's start with the kitchen. So the current problem for me now is that it's just so dark. Everything is dark. Now, I'm a dark and gloomy person, and I like kind of, dark aesthetic, but I don't need it everywhere in my house. It's a little overwhelmingly dreary at times, especially on a cloudy day. So I think what I want to do, I'm going to leave the paneling as it is to start. We can look into replacing that or painting it in the future. I think what I'd really like to try is painting the cabinets. Now, this might bother some people. They're wood cabinets. Why would you paint them? Sure, they're wood cabinets, but we're not talking like fancy hardwood cabinets. We're talking like, plywood and basic pine cabinets. This is no fancy maple or oak or anything like that. So there's no crime in this. The question I have is, what parts do I paint? Because ain't no shortage of cabinets in here. We got cabinets there. We got cabinets there. Cabinets here. Cabinets here. Cabinets up there. Cabinets here. And more cabinets over here. This is kind of just what I use for my trash. Yep. So what do you guys think? Do I paint just all the doors a lighter color, like something like a sandy tan color is what I was leaning towards? Or do I paint everything? So the doors and then the frame of the cabinets could be painted, and then just that paneling up there would stay wood. This window covering, don't know. And then those cabinets and their pine structure around them would be painted. Then these and their pine structure, leaving that paneling up there. And then these and their pine structure would all be painted the same color. Would it look stupid to just paint the doors and leave the rest of it natural wood? I don't know. I've seen people do the opposite, where they paint all the structure and leave the doors. But I don't know if just painting the doors would look good. I just want to lighten it up a bit. That's something I'm actually going to try and tackle on a live stream. I'm going to try and do a cabinet refinishing stream. So if you're into this kind of stuff, keep an eye on the Twitch channel, because I'm going to be trying to do most of the house upgrades on camera in some form or another. The floor in the kitchen, I just want to match it with the floor in the den out front. I think that's really nice, and if it looked like that, I would be happy. Living room, not really any big plans here. Put a TV and an entertainment system or whatever over here, leave the couch, and this will serve my purposes just fine. Some of this shag's gotta go. The hallway has shag, the other hallway has different shag, the master bedroom has its own weird carpet that's pretty grotty and disgusting, honestly. And the other bedroom has shag. And of course the office has shag. Totally cool with leaving some of it, especially that down there, because somebody really liked this carpet, and when they built this addition years later, they got new shag. They got matching new green shag for that room. Pretty crazy. So yeah, I think I'd like to mainly change the carpet in the hallway. I think that would help a ton, especially since there's lots of wear marks in this carpet, and try to clean up some of the wear marks in the house as well. This was an extraordinarily old couple that lived here, and they did a lot of leaning on things. All the surfaces around the house where you walk through, you can tell where they would grab the walls to walk through the house, which is pretty crazy. And of course, there's all these safety rails and whatnot from trying to make the house easier for them. I don't really need that stuff, but you know what? You never know. You might have a moment where you need that very secure rail in front of the toilet. So at the moment, that's pretty much the extent of the house and what I want to do. It's going to be a slow process. This is a huge transition for me. Like I said, I moved out of my parents' house in like '08, somewhere around there. And ever since then, I've lived with people. I've shared rooms in houses. For the last 2 years or so, I've been basically holed up, in a room in somebody's house, and essentially, had not a lot of access to the rest of the house. And I don't know, it just felt very imprisoning. It always felt very imprisoning having a house that you shared with someone, and I never feel comfortable like sharing the shared spaces in the house with them. It's just something that's weird and wired inside of my head. I've only been here like 3 weeks now. It's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing just being able to freely walk around. If I want to go to the garage, I'm going to go out to the garage. I don't have to travel there. It's been extremely liberating. At 33, I think that feeling has been stirring inside of me for a very long time. So to be able to have this opportunity it's amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it. People have been like talking, to me and whatnot. I've been sharing a lot of this journey with everybody, and people were like, "You just seem so much more relaxed all of a sudden," which is crazy because I've not been relaxed at all. Like, I've been absolutely going insane with house stuff, getting things hooked up, getting power, getting water, getting propane, getting all this crazy stuff, trying to get appliances, and trying to learn my new very small town and surroundings. It's been overwhelming. So that people have been seeing me relax is pretty cool. That makes me feel good about the future. And I look forward to sharing with you this new kind of facet of my life, because as much as I love cars, as much as I love gaming, I also really enjoy like housework, house renovation, anything, borderline construction-y. So, it's just another passion of mine that I will be able to share with everybody. And that's really cool. Not going to go full beef here. It's not going to be Cone's house into home or anything like that. But little bits in here and there when I get around to updating things or changing things, I definitely want to share it. The big thing is going to be the garage setup. So I said, in the future we'll take a tour of the garage, and we certainly will. Not only take a tour of the garage, but that garage has been there since the 70s or 80s. It was used to build short track racing cars, and it has not been touched since the late 90s. They retired and didn't do that kind of stuff anymore, so the garage is just full of a lot of it's crap, but just stuff from many, many years ago. So I can't wait to dive into that and start to clear it out, and then start to make it a space of our own. It does need some work. There's some things that need to be addressed, but that's going to be a process that I'm super excited about. Just going to need a little bit of time, because not only is this a big undertaking for me, just a huge lifestyle change, it's also a huge financial undertaking. This is orders of magnitude, more expensive than any of the situations I was in before, and doing the kind of stuff I do is so volatile. Like, I hope that anytime any kid ever asks me about like doing this kind of stuff, that's what I want them to take away more than anything, is that doing this kind of stuff for a living is extremely volatile. It's very stressful, and you have to just absolutely micromanage your budget all the time and always be expecting the unexpected. You can lose massive amounts of income on a whim, especially, I don't make money on YouTube anymore. So I used to have income from YouTube. That went away. Patreon came in. Patreon can come and go. When you're doing kind of fan-funded stuff, fans come and go. People become interested in your content. People lose interest in your content. So people bounce in and out, and that has a significant, change on your income. Twitch is insane in the way that it bounces. There will be months when Twitch seems like it's going great, and then months where the bottom falls out. Not a plane, that's a pickup truck. So yeah, it's something that it's not maybe super well documented. It's just how difficult it is to have this kind of lifestyle. Now, I make it a lot more difficult because I am nobody. Like, I have very, very little following, and I'm trying to do this, as my only source of income. I'm sure it's better for those that have significant followings and have money to kind of go around, but it all scales. The more you make, the better life you're going to try and live, and the better life you try and live, the more it's going to cost. So it all scales, and I don't ever expect to be comfortable doing what I'm doing, but to be able to have a roof over my head and still be able to do the things that I love doing totally makes it worthwhile for me. So obviously, a huge thanks to everybody that has made this possible. If 4 or 5 years ago you told me that I would be living in my own house, have my own garage, and be doing this full time, I would have said, you're nuts. And I would have said, like, wow, how many millions of subscribers do I have? Meanwhile, like, I literally can't even crack 10,000 on YouTube. That number has been just going down more than anything. So yeah, it's crazy how much has changed from then to now as far as what I ever would have expected from this. So thank you to my small but extremely dedicated community that surrounds me and has made this possible. You want some more cat footage? I feel like you probably just want more cat footage. But that's it for today, and I will see you all next time when we'll probably be exploring the garage. They want to see more of you. Do you have anything to say? Did you just want to show the dirty floor because I don't have a vacuum yet? Is that what you wanted? No? Well, what do you want to say? You have nothing? Just nothing, huh? Alright, well, I guess that's all you get then. Good head scratch. Great job.